Chapter 12. The Light. Michael's eyes slowly opened, breaking away the crust that held them shut as he crawled back into consciousness. His mouth was dry, yet he no longer felt dehydrated, and something was roiling around in his gut now, he was sure of it. That all-consuming pit of hunger was gone, and in its place was a sense of fullness, as if he had eaten a full-course meal for 5 men on his own. He was in a tent, that much was for sure. Looked like a med tent based on the rows of white cots he saw running the length of it. There were a few other people in here, but not many, all occasionally turning in their cots or grunting in discomfort. Was this really a medical tent? Those people didn't look like they had grievous injuries. It must be, though. Where else would he have been taken to after that? Did he really remember the details of his rescue rite? Let's see. He knew there was a hoplite, with angel wings in that told Michael, "You did good, kid," and then they high-fived. Michael was pretty sure most of that actually happened, but he wasn't too sure about everything else. Two-faced monsters, elves, magic, and whatever the hell that warm glow was. He could remember that far more clearly. That glow that made him feel so at ease, so relaxed. He sighed at remembering it. Hopefully he was remembering that right. He'd like to feel that way again if possible. He could smell something medicine-y wafting from one end of the tent. It smelled like boiled bandages. Granddad had always boiled bandages before using any of them. That was why Michael could recognize that smell. Michael hadn't smelt that particular scent in a long time. Marines didn't boil their bandages. What was the point when they were covered in advanced antiseptic? So why were the med nerds over there boiling them? He shook his head, slowly rising from his cot, shocked at just how weak he had become in the darkness. He lifted his bare arms, seeing that they were now a tiny bit thinner than they had been on the Sparrow. Not by much, but Michael could definitely notice it. Though in truth, Michael was more concerned with his overall frame. He was beginning to see his ribs. That simply would not do. It was now officially bulking season. He swung his legs from the cot, nearly stumbling as he stood. The blanket fell away to reveal that he was butt naked as the day he was born, and he felt his face grow hot with embarrassment, leaning down as quickly as he was able to in order to cover himself. It was a disturbingly long time before he managed to get that blanket up around his shoulders. Man, they didn't even leave him in his underwear? The hell was the big idea around here? Maybe the nurses had wanted a peek. If that was the case, Michael understood. He had always thought of himself as quite the looker. With that thought, he stumbled on wobbling legs towards the people working at the end of the tent. Right next to them was an open flap going into daylight, and he smiled at seeing it. It was actually quite dim here in the tent. The sunlight bleeding through the canvas didn't illuminate enough of the horribly dark interior. By Jin, it was so dark. Michael decided that right then he was going to be a day person from now on. No more nighttime binge drinking. That was now reserved for when it was lights out. Yes, the light. He needed to be in the light. It was simply too dark in here. He fell to one knee after another step, groaning with pain as the people boiling the bandages finally saw him. His vision blurred, their faces obfuscated from him as they chided him for being foolish and being in too much of a hurry, and he really must rest. Michael coughed, retching as he felt arms lift him from the ground, carry him back to his bed before laying down. Get off me! I gotta get to the light! He screamed as panic suddenly overtook him. I gotta get out! He struggled vainly as hands held his shoulders down. The press of cramped bodies and the stink of rot filled his nose, and he screamed again. The light! He wept. Please! If you're new here, welcome aboard. Check out the description for the story, and join the Discord if you like. Consider supporting the channel and the author as well. It's a dangerous world out there, but remember to be brave and look up to seek the stars.